G'day, welcome back viewers. It's been a while. Been having a bit of a paint and redecorate happening in the house. Took a little bit longer than I expected, but the good news is it's finished. I've just got to pack down the rest of the gear, the painting stuff, and put it away for another 30 years, which is a bonus. Glad to see the end of that. Done my cutting up of the wood, done that too. Anyway, as a present to myself for getting through all that, I bought myself something that I wanted, and I'll just introduce you. We're just into the naughty corner of Silver Spittoon Studios, but what I got myself, and I'd wanted one for a long time, and look at this mad thing. It's a 12-string Danelectro electric semi-hollow thing. Look at that P90 sitting there like a Maserati. Not a bad thing now, cleaned up alright. Danelectro 66, if you want a root, that's the one you want. Anyway, what a lovely thing. Bought myself a present on the internet, as you do these days. Who can afford a Rickenbacker? God, those things are $5 grand. So it turned up and unboxed it, had a bit of a play of it, and to be fair, it had been sitting on the wall. I'd say the strings on it were probably from the factory, so it's probably 2.5 years it was hanging on a wall before they discounted the shit out of it and I bought it. Anyway, it played okay. I'd give it a 4 out of 10 to be fair, which is pretty brutal, but I've got to be fair. Sitting next to it, I've got a 12-string acoustic. Now this is a good old girl. She's got the patina. She's seen things, man. This thing, it's got a trapeze on it. It's got all sorts of things we had to do to this old girl, but that neck, it's an Echo 1972 Ranger 12. Good old girl. Pick it up, 3.5 kilos nearly. If you gave that to Keith Richards, I'm pretty sure he'd say, well, at least there's a broken nose and a dislocated shoulder if somebody gets near my singer, because this thing would just beat the shit out of you. Built like a boat, 72 year model 12-string. That's why it's still here. I think of all those Epiphones that are just folded in half, you know, with the action 3/4 of an inch up there. This thing sits in standard tuning, none of that detuning bullshit. It's a lovely guitar. For what it is, I'd give it a 10. It's lovely. We put a pickup in it. One time I played it, and I had it mic'd up off one of the amps, and I got a bit of feedback, and I have to be honest, it scared the shit out of me, and I probably didn't play it for 12 months after that. Fuck, that took some stopping. Anyway, I'm going to do the story, the little journey on this thing here, to turn it from a 4 into at least a 9.5, and because it's mine, it's got to be a 10. If I was doing this for you, it'd be a 10 as well. But the thing's just a turd. Okay, from the factory, they're wonderful. They come strung in the same way as the acoustic is, with the octave string on top and the bass string below, just the same as that acoustic over there holding the wall up. Now this thing, they've got a beautiful bridge. They've got an absolutely fantastic bridge. They've got individual adjustment for intonation. which is fantastic. I'm not getting it in focus, and I'm flaring the shit out of that. But there's a little screw in there and a separate saddle that's adjustable off the main one, the 6 main ones. So you can get them right. They're height adjustable. You can get the height just right. Look at the neck pocket on this thing's like fucking Chainsaw did it. I don't know if they handed that body to Chainsaw or near enough, but fuck me, what a neck pocket. I shimmed it a bit. It's in the ballpark. All I wanted to do was get this thing in the window and see if I could turn it into something. I love the way that neck pickup is angled back like a Mosrite, or those Yamahas. Remember those old Yamahas? Wow, they were good things. I wish I could get one of them as a 12 string. Anyway, it wouldn't be presenting me with the problems this thing did. So, first thing was, it needed a new set of strings. They were black. So, I played it a bit, and the issue that I was having is that the way these bridges are, is the octave string saddle puts the octave string a long way below the bass string, which is okay. You really need to change your technique. You know, a few thou down is not too bad, but these were just, it was a 9-string guitar if you strummed it. I watched a lot of good, really good players playing these things, and the second time around when I watched, I realised I was sticking off the, staying away from the wound strings a bit. And I would imagine they were probably struggling, so they were just playing on the, as you do, jangle away on the plain strings. But yeah, you can't intonate it when you pull the the way the saddles are arranged. The 46 that is the bass string won't pull back far enough. You can't get it into intonation, and then the octave strings, it's still just way sharp. It's just nuts. I've roughed it in now. It needs to be adjusted again after I tweak the neck. It's at about 4 creak and tweak and creak sessions at the chiropractor. The neck's where I want it now. All the frets play good. I had to clean them up. They'd had some munt on them. Anyway, this is basically an introduction to this thing. Look, it's got mall marks all over it. An introduction to this thing. And tomorrow, because it's night time now, I'll put it up on the bench, and after having slept on the decision of either what do I do to it. The problem is with it now, it's probably a 6 out of 10 the way it plays, with the strings reversed, which is what I had to do to make it, you know, semi-playable. The octave string is still below the bass string, and your technique that you need to do is kind of sweep the plectrum in towards the body of the guitar, or have a really big belt at it. If you play it lightly and strum down, you don't touch the octave string, so you don't get the whole effect of those extra strings you got on your guitar, and it just doesn't do it. You know, as a muser, you just say, man, it's just not doing it for me. You know, can you fix it? But you need to know what's going on, and this thing has got potential. It is it's going to be a really nice sounding thing. That back pickup on it, which you can split, that's a bonus. Those two lipstick soap suckers, or whatever they're called, wow, they've got a bark like nothing I've ever heard. That's a nice sound. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. 4-bolt neck there. Not a bad set of tuners. lubed them up, they all wind up and down okay. Adjusted the the tension on them because they were just, all the screws on the twirlers were all wound in. It just needed to be finished off and do a setup on it. The shops don't do it these days. You just don't get it. They don't give a fuck really. Who said at lunchtime I'll put a new set of strings on the 312 stringers there? Nobody. They never said it. It just doesn't happen. Which is why I kind of try to stay away from this. But the bizarre thing is, and what I'll allude to, is when I swap the strings around from the, the traditional 12-string method, I restrung it to get the intonation basically right after looking at it and playing it with the standard sets, pairs on it, or runs, whatever they're called. And the nut is cut by Supernaut because it doesn't mind a bit both ways. The nut slots are the same width and they're the same depth. So who knew, like, I don't know why they would have done that. It's just, I don't know why. And it is, the bridge is quite a, this thing doesn't focus really. It's quite a clever thing and can be adjusted and made to work properly. So that'll be it for this little section. I'll stop the camera, and tomorrow we'll either have a hybrid set of strings on it so that the height difference is minimised and I can touch both strings, or I just tune the saddles up so that I've got the action on both strings set properly so it actually plays and sounds like a 12 string, not a friggin' 9 string. But I've seen setup videos and all sorts of stuff and how to restring them, and nobody's ever said anything about it. Don't know why that is. Don't know why it would be, but if you want to learn about them a little bit, stick around. Okay, we're back again. It's a couple of days later actually. I've done a bit more work on the Danelectro 6612. I was so frustrated with it, and it just wasn't making sense. I couldn't get the neck straight and have it play cleanly pretty much anywhere, especially on the bass strings. And of course I hadn't checked how even and level the frets are on this thing, so I ran up and down it with the fret rocker and understood that it needed a bit of attention there. So what I did, I got out the Bobcat and I went along through the whoop section all the way down here to the stutter bumps and straightened it out. That suddenly made the thing a little bit more playable, and here I am now. Now, the little lesson that I want to help with this, I was a bit angry the other day when I was talking about the guitar and introducing you to it, but in theory, in a perfect world, which turns out it isn't, you bring your guitar home, or it turns up in the mail, and you, worst case scenario, you need a screwdriver, set of strings, some juice for the board, tuner, make sure you put it back together properly, it sounds good. Optional stuff, nippers if you don't want to go full bush on your headstock, string winder if you don't want RSI, crapo if you're too lazy to hold your finger down to check the neck relief. I do like the string gauge just because at the end of the day it gives me a number. It's not about the feel. Well, it is about the feel, but you can write down a number and you can go back to it. Tell me how you replace a feeling 6 months later. I don't know how you do that. Anyway, that's what, you know, that's a pretty fair kit of stuff that you need to just, you know, reset the odometer on your new guitar, and you're good to go. You're happy, you're cheering. Reality is, you need the fret leveling bar, you need the fret leveling files, you need the fret end file so you can tune up the fret ends after you've leveled them. You need the fret crowning file. With this particular thing, you need the nut slot files. I've started, but I haven't finished adjusting the bridge so the string heights are right. Micrometer just to measure string gauges, a caliper to work it, just to prove to myself that you cannot get the bridge back far enough with a 46 D'Addario to get the thing intonated. Look, this is pretty much the only thing you can get for these EXL 150s, because they're an industry standard thing, you know. I'll just walk into a guitar shop, ask for a set of 12 string electric strings. They're going to throw a set of those at you and you're going to walk out happy, because that's what the industry, fucking the biz, tells you is good. And what they are, it's a set of 10s, electric 10s, 10 to 46, with an octave course on 3 and actually 4, and in unison on the B and the E. But what the problem is, what I'm discovering as I'm learning about these things, is the EXL 150s that they come with have got a pretty big gap or difference in diameter between the E, the A and the D there. So you see 20 thou, 18 thou, 14. That's the EXL 150s. What I'm going to put on it is a set of 10 to 42s, but in that set you get 16 compared to 20, you get 15, and I've got a low battery and it's going to shut down, and 12, and I think it's goodbye. I'll put the battery back in the charger and get back to you shortly. Okay, sorry about that, battery went flat. Anyway, the strings, that's wonderful. Okay, what you have to take into consideration is that a Rickenbacker 12 comes with 46, probably these, or a different colour, 46 to 10, same string set, I'm pretty sure. What you get as a Pyramid and Infeld set are 10 to 44. Pyramids do a 10 to 42 and a 10 to 39. Now, the scale length does affect the tension of the strings, and because the Rickenbacker is like it's the Gibson jockey guitar size scale, not the Fender length, 25 inches or whatever they are, the number. Effectively, you can run for the same tension or a similar tension, you can run one gauge lighter, and my research tells me that back in the day they were using 38s on the low E and playing around with them with pretty thin strings on the shorter scale length. And so I've ordered a set of Pyramid 309 12s and a set of 308 12s. I think I'll put the 10 to 42s on it first, and I will probably take them off and put the 10 to 39s on just to see how it feels. And there it is. That I use the word feel, but there'll be numbers that go along with it. The thing will play, I'm 100% sure, and I'll get to the end of this chapter now because I'm more confident in where this thing's going to end up. I got the strings coming in the meantime, because we live in the land of plenty. You've got to get them from overseas. I'll get some odd string sets. I need a 20 and a 21 wound out of a set of Ernie testicle ball bag set of 7s, and a set of BXL8s which have got a 20 and a 21 that I need just to match up. I've got a steel 14 that I can substitute, and what that will effectively give me time to do, because the strings will be here next week for it, the proper ones, I will have had time then to get this dialed in, so the string heights are actually all exactly where they're meant to be, not all over the place. I did the top low E because I had a 42, just pulled it out of a Fender set and put that on, which gave me the same difference in string gauge as the Pyramid set. And now, look, now I can see the octave string where I've got the guitar in playing position. I can actually see it, and instead of up and down the neck from the open, none of the frets played clean. I have to be honest, the low E was just a disaster. I thought it was me. Anyway, fix that up. It still needs more tuning up. I don't think I need to add too much to it, but what I'll do, when the strings turn up for it, and I've got it all properly set up, I'll show you, do a demo. I'll get my drummer in to play it for you. He'd be better than me. But yeah, I now have a little bit more confidence that it's going to turn into a good thing, and that's probably next week. I'm watching Mark Hoyer and Kevin Cameron on Cycle World. If you want to watch anything good and keep learning stuff, these guys are good. No bullshit, which I like. But anyway, who wants to buy a Danelectro 6612? Okay, kiddies, pause up on that one. Anybody? Fuck, yeah, well, it's just one of those things, you know. It will be good, and I'll like it a lot more because of that. There was one more option that I actually didn't even mention, because I just can't be an arsehole. The industry, the biz, the fucking music industry biz, if they built fucking motor cars and motorbikes, fuck, it'd be carnage out there. Like, shit would be falling off cars and motorbikes. Imagine if they built aeroplanes. Like, give me a freaking break. I suppose myth and mystique are just mysterious and majestic. You can take it to the bank and convert bullshit into money. It's the biz. I'm cool with that, but when you get a turd, it's really a challenge. This one, I tried to, I gave it a rub. She didn't polish up too much. I got to go and get the glitters coming. So next time you see it will have been polished up, the polished turd, and a nice layer of glitter on the outside. I think we should be looking forward to that. We'll see you again then, kiddies. The Danelectro 6612. Bit of an update. It's a couple of days later again. As you know, I'll just recap. It had D'Addario 10 to 46s on it. They're just shit for this guitar, I'm sorry to say. But the first thing I have to do is apologise where I did misspeak. I was still basking in the honeymoon afterglow with this thing when I said that it was playing good at first off the the frets, I thought they were okay. I was wrong. They had to be levelled, so I did misspeak earlier. The other important thing that I misspoke about was the scale length. This is the jockey style Gibson 24.5 inch scale length. It says there on the Danelectro website. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, got some strings to make a simulated set that represent the new strings that are coming, 9 to 42, sorry, 10 to 42, and 8 to 10. So they'll be coming. This is the closest I can get. It's an approximation. It's going to give me a bass setup. I've dialed in the bridge. This thing doesn't really focus in close enough to give you the detail, but just let me say that it's intonated to the 12th fret here. If you go up and down the neck on some of these strings, they don't all play in tune, but I'm not going to go through the compensation of that and, you know, establishing a few places on the guitar, any guitar, that you just don't go. And really, the little lesson in this is on the back of the packet here. It says, if I'm reading that right, perfect intonation. Now, that's your first red flag, kiddies. Anybody that tells you that their guitar's got perfect intonation, red flag, guys. Just saying, alright? There's just so much bullshit. I saw, when I was doing my research, I saw somebody pick one of these things up and play an open D chord on it and tell me that the intonation sounded great. This is set up with the same note across all 12 strings at the 12th fret. What it also has now is an action on the bass side, 12th fret of 5/64, so you can't see it because it doesn't focus. It's 5/64, and on the treble side it's 4/64. Maybe a little bit high on the fat strings, but it's okay. I'm just getting a bass set up on it. If I check the intonation, which the relief on it, which I can't do, it's got, that's an 8. I can't do this with one hand, but anyway, I've got 8th thou relief from the 17th fret, which kind of corresponds with the little ski jump that this neck gets once you've got a little bit of tension on it from the strings. I'm dealing with that. The fret level took care of stage 1 of that. I'm not going to finalise that on these last few fellas here. Just needs a bit of tidying up, so then I can actually get the neck relief even down lower. I like about a cold tappet clearance on a Husky 610, which is 6th thou. I'm 2th thou away from that. Some ass hat to oh, look, shit that you hear between 1 and 2 millimeters of neck relief was kind of suggested to me, and I have to be honest, my response to that was, it's not a fucking Kmart guitar. I don't know what horse shit that was. It's a bit the same as the bloke that told me the intonation on the guitar was great and played an open D. Fucking tosser. Merkin. Goddamn Merkin. And the other thing that I have done is, as I said, I've set the intonation across here on all the every saddle. It's set up. Went out and saw Brad's Guitar Garage, got myself a 14-inch radius gauge. This radius is a 14-inch. The strings are set up to follow exactly a 14-inch radius off the top of the strings. Go into a shop and try one that's hanging on the wall. It's not like that. So that's pretty much it for the guitar. It's kind of where it's up to now, because of what it is, and I got my people to contact my drummer, and I sort of fear that there's some sort of major transport and logistic crisis going on at the moment, and that kind of rings true, because it goes in line with you know, owning a cat and having responsibilities, and it's a bit windy out there, or it might rain. You know, you just lightweights. You just can't fucking rely on them, and that's how it is. So what I'm going to do for you is plug it in to the lie detector on 3.5. It's just a little champ type deal. I'm not going to show off, play it a bit. It's in tune. It's not perfectly intonated up and down the neck. They never are. It's in tune across the octave there at the 12th fret. It's set up pretty close to how it is. I haven't addressed the issue with the neck pocket yet. Can't get in here, but with 4/64 on the high strings, sadly the saddle's down on the deck, and it won't go any lower, and that's not it's not ideal. But the problem with it is the low E is actually at the full extension of the threads. I think I've got one and a half turns on the grub screw still sitting in the saddle there, so I've got to tune up the neck pocket to tilt the neck back to where it is, and that's for a future episode, because I'm going to have to pull the neck off it and show you what Chainsaw or Near Enough did in the neck pocket on this thing. It's you like that? That's gold. It's a beauty. This camera doesn't reveal anything, but anyway, I'll pause it now. I'll plug in, just and show you that the thing actually can play in tune, play a few chords. I'm not going to play Mr. Tambourine Man for you, because I've watched all the players play it, and to my head, A, I can't play it, and B, it just starts sounding like bagpipes to me. You know, you do listen to a medley of 20 12-string songs, and fuck, I think of bagpipes a couple of times while I'm going through it. It's and plus I don't have a nice hat. I don't have enough nice hats to wear, so I just can't play that good. But I'll do my best, because, as they say, it's not a run-through rehearsal, kiddies. You only get one turn at it. Let's have a go. Okay, kiddies, it's time to go. I've got to walk the walk. Saturday morning. It's plugged in to the amplifier there. It's turned on. Both pickups. The back pickup. Listen to that. D minor, the guy showed me that it was intonated and just played it, D minor. Intonation sounds perfect, it's a bit swirly. I think the important thing is do a D minor somewhere else on the fretboard. Still sounds like a D minor, it's kind of in tune, it's not bad. Another one. D minor. Up one end, in the middle, down the other end, it's okay all the way up. Sort of ish. G. Yeah, it's okay. I think it plays in tune. I run out of talent pretty quickly, but it's not a bad thing. Okay, that's enough of me playing because I'm as nervous and shit. Fuck drummers, they're hopeless. It goes. That's better. What I'd like to do with it is this thing here, the volume throttle pedal, put a double gang in it and have two separate volume controls on it and jack it out here through a TRS into stereo, into a Y cable into stereo, so I can run each pickup individually into a bank of amplifiers. I think it's going to be an adventure. We got it from a 4 out of 10. I'm giving it 7.5. It's a borderline 8, but I know what it looks like inside under the neck pocket to get this sorted out, but I will be happy. I'm really looking forward to the new strings turning up, because I think that will change the whole character of it again, and I'm looking forward to that because that's promising. I've learned something. I hope if you've listened and looked and maybe asked some questions, I hope you've learned something, or it might have been something that you knew before and you've forgotten about, who knows. I'm going to bring it to an end. I'll probably be back in a couple of weeks with this thing, with some new strings. I'll have to see if I can get a new player under contract, because I'm pretty miserable at that stuff. I need to warm up. That's a 20-minute episode. I've got to break out the Victor in the Arvo. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now, break out the Victor, slash the paddock, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for watching. If I've forgotten anything, thank you everybody. Subscribe. It's been a journey, hasn't finished yet. Thank you.